And that concludes 2023. Welcome to Outside the Cubicle, year 2, and I'd like to thank all of my subscribers who have been here since day 1. Whether you believed in my success or just wanted to follow along to just watch some tennis, I appreciate each and every one of you. It's been a really fun ride. A lot of the people who followed me since back when I had 20 to 30 subscribers, I recognize you guys and I see that you're still here. Thank you. For all the newcomers who have just joined, I'm going to kind of talk about what has happened on this channel, some of the cons along the way, and the pros. So this all started with our very first video, Road to Pro with a full-time job. So if you don't know me, my name is Vincent. I have a full-time job for a missile defense contractor. Outside of those hours, I'm trying to use them to play as much tennis as possible to go pro and eventually play US Open. If you haven't watched it yet, I really recommend watching it so you know what I'm trying to do, and it should be in one of these corners. I still haven't figured out which one it shows up in. So I'm a great tennis player. I'm nowhere near where a US Open player would be. I'm a true believer that if you see it in your head and you see steps that you can make to get to that goal, I really do believe you can make it. If you can see it, you can do it. And also, going off of that, I see a lot of things that seem crazy to me, but then I see the average Joe go achieve it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, man, why didn't I do that? And I see what he did, and I'm like, I can do that too. And in fact, shortly after, I end up doing it myself, which is crazy. It's like sometimes you gotta see somebody else do it before you can do it yourself. If I do this with a full-time job, maybe that'll inspire other people to go do it with me, you know? And it might not be as impossible. May discover some things along the way, maybe new methods for learning, who knows? But that's something that you and I are going to learn together throughout this journey. Maybe something you've never seen before. And I don't know, I think it'll be fun, so why not? Follow along. Anyways, back to the adventure. I've got my PowerPoint notes right here, and I have a lot of things jotted down, so gonna try to get through them as quickly as possible, but make sure you stick around for the end of this video because we're gonna list the pros, the cons, and what I plan on doing on this channel next. Starting out, first tournament of the year, I played a money tournament in Chattanooga. I got 3rd place in that. In the semifinals, I lost to a 12.5 UTR, which at the time seemed super high. Just kind of put him on a pedestal. Turns out like that guy's even better than a 12.5 because now he's like a 13. So in February, I played the same money tournament again in Chattanooga, and this time I won it and got my first ATP ranked victory. I beat a guy that's 1300 in the world, made quarterfinals of another M25 futures. Solid player, good win, good tournament. Through the beginning of that year, and especially after winning that Chattanooga futures, I was really desperate to go play some futures, because no matter how well I'm playing, really the thing that matters is going to these pro events and getting some points so I can work my way up the rankings and eventually be ranked high enough to play US Open. I basically determined that if I have any shot of getting into any futures in the US or Canada, I'm gonna hop on that plane and show up and do it. Bakersfield, California. I look at the alternate list and I'm like 65th alternate. That sounds ridiculous. You're expecting 64 people in front of you just not to show up to the tournament. I was desperate, flew across the entire country, and we showed up on site. When the draws came out, I was very devastated because I did not make it in. My name was not to be found. The very next day, I show up on site anyway, get a little hit in. Very last minute, I get in and I play my old teammate from Gonzaga and get crushed. But anyway, like it felt like I already won because I got to play the futures. Like I think I was kind of shook by that because I wasn't expecting to get in. So after that Bakersfield tournament, the next futures was going to be in my hometown, Huntsville, Alabama, which I was so desperate to play such a high caliber tournament right here in my home. So I knew there were wild card tournaments for that. So if I get first place, I get a wild card in the main draw. If I get second place, I get a wild card into qualifying. So I was really hoping I could go to one of these wild card events. I didn't mention this earlier, but it's ridiculously tough to get into any of these futures with no ranking whatsoever. So they prioritize it by ATP rank, and then ITF ranking, and then national ranking. And then you always have like 500 or 600 people signed up for these. So there's just like absolutely no shot. Anybody after the national ranked people, it's just completely random. So I don't know, you're pretty desperate to get into like qualifying even and to get a win there just so you can get some ITF points. So it's always a lot of pressure for that very first match. The day before that tournament, I really grinded. I was kind of just practicing, just assuming I wasn't going to play the tournament. So I played for over 4 hours that day. The great thing was that I was stretching every day and just being healthy, you know? So honestly, the very next day, I was not sore whatsoever. I took down like a 12.3 or 12.4 UTR. Which was great because I was so relieved to get some ITF points. And then the next day I played the number 2 seed in qualifying. I think at the time he was 1200 in the world, but he's a 12.6 or 12.7 UTR. I was able to get the win there and qualify for main draw of Huntsville. So I qualified for main draw, and then ironically I lost to the lowest UTR I played. I think I was just incredibly nervous, kind of sleep deprived, because keep in mind, I was also working in the office while playing this tournament. I was just going in and out of the office in between matches or whatever. I think it probably, in hindsight, it would have been wise to just take off work that last day and just make sure I get my 8 hours of sleep instead of like 5 or 6, because that honestly really affected me. Although I wasn't physically drained, I was mentally drained, and I think that costed me an ATP point. After that Huntsville Futures, I had a couple mediocre money tournaments. They were fun. I had a work trip in Colorado Springs, which that was an amazing experience. And then went straight back home and traveled to Illinois to play my next Futures. First round, I had to play like a 13.2 UTR, and I lost. It was good. So after that, trained really hard. Next Futures was in August. That would be in South Haven, Mississippi. Played a 12.95 UTR and got my win to get my highest UTR win of the year. That was great. Got some more ITF points to add to my current ITF points, meaning an even better chance of playing any Futures I want to play. After that, I played another tournament in Mississippi State, and then that's when the injuries came. So after that Mississippi State tournament, that's when I came out with my video talking about my new schedule, new gym efforts, and was really amping up the program and just murdering myself on a day-to-day basis. This was when I decided that I was going to dedicate 25 hours per week of tennis, which is 5 more hours than Division I college coaches even let you do. Like, you're not legally allowed to go over that 20 hours. Well, I was doing this on top of a 40-hour job plus 5 extra hours. So it was really grinding. Just like every single minute, every single thing I did on and off the court had to be right on that schedule I created, which I think it was a good schedule. Like, I noticed progress quickly. My fitness really shot up pretty quickly, but obviously it came with some cons with it. I didn't have any like horrible injuries, but it seemed like there were just like a lot of like minor injuries that kept me from playing. Like, the worst one I had was right here in my chest. Couldn't hit serves, couldn't hit forehands. The other one was plantar fasciitis right here. Just hurt to walk in general. Didn't want to push off of it. couldn't run. Started to get a little bit of Achilles tendonitis, which I was scared of, since that had been a problem for me in the past. But anyway, took a bit to get over those injuries, and due to that, I was not able to play another tournament for 4 months until the PTT Knoxville tournament, which I just completed here a few weeks ago. This is my first time trying one of these PTTs. If you read the description, it says it's for 12.5 UTRs and up, but obviously lower UTRs like myself got into it, and yeah. But anyway, it's really competitive. Like, most likely you're going to be playing a 12.2, 12.3 or higher, and to put it short, losing 3 matches in a row, just like losing your first 3 matches in a tournament, that can really bring down your confidence. So after losing my 3rd match in a row in this tournament, I'm just staring at the ceiling while I'm doing my stretches and just thinking, man, I'm still losing the people I should be whooping by now. At this rate, I have no chance at US Open, and maybe I should just drop it all together and start something new next year. It was rough. Though it was rough, I was still able to step it up right after that and get 2 really good wins. And one of the losses I had was against somebody who literally played Wimbledon qualies this year, won a round of Wimbledon qualies, and also won a Wimbledon doubles main draw match. So he was no joke. And also, I almost took the first set off of him. I lost that first set 7-6, 8-6. And I think that's really the only real set I played too, because after that my chest was starting to bother me again. Couldn't really hit serves and got destroyed in that second set. So yeah, let's go into some of the cons of this year. We'll go into the cons and then we'll go into the pros. First of all is I expected crazy results within 1 year. Although I had good results, I don't think they were crazy. Yeah, they're good results, but not an insane success story. Also, after a year of playing tennis, I still don't have 1 ATP point. I created schedules. I failed to meet that schedule many times where I was undisciplined. A lot of practices I lost purpose, especially towards the beginning of the year. I did a good job of really planning out my weeks, making sure I had a clear goal of every practice, and and assuring that I didn't just go out on the court just to hit. Sometimes I lost sight of that, and there were so many times that I just went out there and just started hitting tennis balls, not really knowing what I was working on, which is so easy to fall into. That being said, for most of this year, I spent so many hours dedicated to tennis. Whether I was on the court or not, I was constantly thinking about it, thinking of how can I get better? What am I going to do next to get better? Which obviously those are all pros, but just being so invested in this sport caused me to lose my girlfriend. Yeah, I think when you're extremely dedicated to something, extremely dedicated to like a passion, kind of makes you selfish in a way. You kind of dedicate everything to yourself because you have to, and as a result, you don't give other people the attention they deserve. So yeah, obviously that was rough. Was tough to bounce back from that. As I mentioned earlier, I had some injuries that set me back. I think that really halted my progress towards the end of the year. I lost 6-1, 6-1 to a 16-year-old at the PTT Knoxville. And I abandoned the list that I made at the very beginning of the year that was going to make me a top 128 tennis player. I put a lot of thought in the beginning of the year into thinking of what basic things you need, what is going to win you tennis matches at the end of the day. But I think as time went on, I forgot about that list, and I don't know. I don't think I ever really dedicated to myself to any of those points. So I think the way I envisioned it at the beginning of the year is maybe by like month 2 or month 3, I'd have one of these things on the list down. I could mark one off, but it's really not like that. Just seems like everything on that list just very gradually went up, like maybe like 0.5% better, like in like half a year. It's really a lot to work on. So I think it's nice having it simplified into like those 8 things, but I think in order to make real progress on that, you got to be conscious of it every single day. But anyway, let's go into the pros. So first of all, I met loads of new people that are significant to my life who I never would have met if I didn't get back into tennis and if I didn't start this YouTube channel. I don't want to start listing people because I'm really afraid I'm going to leave people off, because there's been so many new people I met, so many important people, and but you know who you are. Another pro is, so I started this journey at 207 pounds and I was able to shave 30 pounds off. I went down to 177, now I'm about 180, which I've been staying around 180, which I think is a pretty good weight, So that's cool. It's like you can kind of go on your weight loss journey without intending to go on it. Because not once was I thinking about losing weight. I was just thinking about getting faster and more fit for tennis so I can be better at a sport that I want to be good at. And I guess losing weight and being in better shape is just a side effect. As far as UTR goes, I started out as an 11.22 and now I'm a 12.05, baby. Finally hit that 12 range. Yeah, so I won a tournament, had some good wins, probably beat like 4 or 5 people that were over 12s. One guy that was a borderline 13, which was good. Although I did not play this Futures because I was injured, I actually got seeded in qualifying, or I would have been seeded in qualifying if I showed up. But that's just crazy because just like a few months before that, I was desperate to just go play any Futures I can find and just sneak into that qualifying draw. But now I'm getting seeded in qualies, and it's like I'm supposed to be there, that's pretty cool. I like that. Nick Hang, even though his record's probably 10-1 with me, I was able to take him down in a practice set. Really like an obvious one, a big thing I'm happy about is starting this YouTube channel. Ever since I was really young, I'd always had these visions like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. I could make this kind of content, or this kind of content, but never even got started with any of those, and now I'm 25 years old, being my little kid self, and I think like the big thing there was once you just get like one crappy video posted, you're not scared to post anything else. It's just like kind of find a rhythm. It becomes a habit, and hopefully over time, like you can get better at whatever craft you're trying to work on. So yeah, I'm really happy that I started this YouTube channel. Along with that, I think I'm just living a much healthier lifestyle. I'm no longer just eating unhealthy at restaurants all the time. I've been working on what I'm eating, making sure I'm getting really good exercise every day. And I don't talk about it too much, but work. Obviously, this channel is called Outside the Cubicle. I am working a full-time job. That's why this is what it is. I don't get into it too much because the stuff I work on is classified, and I don't want to slip up and say the wrong thing, But anyway, work has been really good. Like I love the job. Everyone I work with is amazing, way better than I ever expected any job to be. And things have been going well with that. I've gotten 2 raises and a promotion, and I'm glad I've been able to write code that actually has an impact on our organization. Just cool. Like it's been great. I feel useful, and the stuff I do is fun. Doesn't really feel like work. And the very last pro I want to mention is, so while I had all those injuries I mentioned before, I got introduced to pickleball. Got a new group of pickleball buds that I play with. One of the goals is to play a PPA this year on the side. Obviously, the focus is tennis, but I don't think it hurts to take a day in the week to just grind some pickleball and get better at that too. That being said, you're not only going to be getting tennis content, but you're going to be getting some pickleball content as well. So after writing all these pros and cons and going over the adventure and reflecting on it, I had a few realizations. So I know on that APEAK app, like a big thing there is making a good purpose. Sometimes if your purpose is too weak, you're not going to be inspired to follow through with your goal. I had my own little journal where every morning I would write as many motivations as I could. It could be like as shallow as whatever or as deep as you want it to be. For example, one of the things I wrote down was, that random person at the airport that I told to look out for me on the pro tour. When he sees me on the pro tour, he's gonna be ecstatic. You know, that's like one of the purpose I write down. Which obviously that's cool. Like just having random people on the street just recognize you like on TV as like a pro athlete. I think that's pretty cool. But anyway, after writing a lot of like tiny motivations that just like weren't really major motivations, it's like, do I really want to work this hard, just grinding every day, dedicating every minute of my life to something just to get a little from somebody I don't even know? Like it doesn't sound worth it when you put it that way. So in some ways, I almost found like writing down little motivations every day was kind of detrimental, because it's just like, what am I doing this for? But I think this realization here just really taught me to enjoy the process instead of thinking I'm just doing something for the end result. So I think it's really important to keep things inside, like internal versus external. Another realization is I also do this so I can make fun YouTube content. It's been fun to do this channel. And then lastly, I wrote, I still like to work hard and test how hard I can work myself. However, it shouldn't take away the fun from the sport at the end of the day. So yeah, at the end of the day, we play tennis because it's fun. Like it really shouldn't be a job. Like it's a fun thing to do. I don't think people invented this game saying, hey, like the whole purpose of this is just to like murder yourself, you know, like you're hitting a little fluffy green tennis ball over a net. Like if anything, like obviously is made, like all these sports were made for like fun, right? So that's the overall purpose. Have fun, try to get better, make progress, and see where you go. That's what this is all about. So what's 2024 gonna look like? I'm still figuring that out myself. And if there's anything I've learned from this past year, you're gonna have to be ready to just keep making adjustments. And I think it's okay if you don't follow like that initial step-by-step plan, as long as the big picture is the same and you stay in motion. I think it's actually better, you know, to kind of reflect on what has been working, what has not, and continue to adjust as time goes on. It's very natural for schedules to change. I'm thinking this year, I'm not gonna focus on like the brute force, absolutely destroy yourself on the court, because I tried that, and although I did get more fit after it, it came with injuries, which set me back a little bit further. But I think really the objective is to learn and make visible changes. So I think really going to kind of focus a little bit more on technique, make sure all of that is correct, have proper footwork, and also get like a lot more fit. Like the very first thing you notice, the major difference between me and like top 100 pros is a top 100 pro doesn't look like me. I look like your average Joe you just find anywhere on the street. If I told you I've never played a sport in my life, you'd believe me, like in a heartbeat. You wouldn't question it, you know? But like, if you saw like a pro tennis player walking around, you'd be like, oh yeah, that guy's a beast, you know? I don't think I'm giving beast vibes, like beast vibes yet with like these little chicken legs, you know? So I don't know. I think I'm gonna hit the gym a lot harder. Try to I don't know, get more fit for tennis. We're gonna make visible changes this year. That's the goal. And then also, I want to go, as I mentioned earlier, I also want to have a little miniature pickleball journey on the side. You know, I think that would be fun. It's addicting, man. Like it's an addicting sport. Can't knock it down. You know, so I think just like doing that on the side, I think I can get at it pretty quickly, and hopefully go to a PPA event this year. So that'll be another fun thing to do on the side. Anyway, I'm going to cut things right there. If you're still here in the video, thank you for watching all of this and seeing all the journey and my plans and all the pros and cons I've faced throughout 2023. Once again, I want to thank all of you who have been following around, whether it's been January 1st when you joined or if it was December 31st. Like, thank you all. If you're not already, please subscribe if you want to see this adventure keep going, you know, see where we go with this. I think it'll be a good growing opportunity and a really fun experiment to share with the world. Thank you guys. Have a great 2024. If you have a dream, go out there and crush it. Don't wait on it to come to you, because it will never come to you unless you go and grab it. That being said, effort, quality, focus. Let's get after it.